Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. 10 o'clock, August 3rd, Tuesday. Today, let's give it a couple minutes and then we'll give people a chance to join on in and we'll start from there. Okay. Thanks so much for joining this morning.
Let it go.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. 10:02 on Tuesday, August 3rd. Thanks for joining in for meditation today. My mind has been very busy, but that's okay. I've been aware of most of it, and I trust that it's all leading somewhere. But yeah, it's been a little bit intense. With that said, we always have the option of just being present with the intenseness, right? Without judging it, without making bad or wrong, without fighting it. Can we just simply be present with the thoughts and the feelings? So we'll see where this meditation goes today. And thanks again for joining. Let's meditate. Just allowing your body to be nice and comfortable with whatever you're sitting or lying on. And just taking in a nice deep breath. And just letting go of all your stress, letting go of all your worries, letting go of your need to have anything be any different than what it is in your life and in the world, just for this meditation. Just for this meditation. And I say that because if we can do that during this meditation, just not no need to fix or change anything about ourselves or someone else or the world or life, just for the meditation, we can rest in peace, right? We can just rest in the peace and the stillness of this moment. The only reason we would experience stress right now or at any time is simply because we're wanting ourselves or life in some way to be different than what it is. That's the only reason. So, can you just for the moment, just for the meditation, just allow the world to be okay without you? Can you do that? Can the world be okay without you for 45 minutes or an hour? And then when you re-enter the world we've after the meditation, then you can be recharged and renewed and you can re-enter in a way that is rooted in peace and rooted just in a stillness. And how much better is that to take action from that place than coming from a place of worry or fear or anxiety or judgment or blame? So I'm just inviting you right now for this meditation to just let go of all your stress, all your worries, let go of yourself and the world and your life to be any different than what it is. Just let it be for right now. Just let it be for right now. And I just feel a little different today than usual. And I don't know where this meditation is going to go, but I'm kind of curious. And I say that for those of you who have meditated with me before, you know that I just do my best to get my personality, my story, my ego self out of the way and just allow the words to flow through that are going to flow through. If you want to call it the Holy Spirit, it doesn't matter to me. I just want I just want words to flow through that are beyond my judgments and ideas of what the words are supposed to be, to move beyond the mind and just allow the words to flow from that deeper truth of who I am, and which is the same deeper truth of who you are. And I'm okay with it being silent and still as well. Maybe it will. I don't want to say anything unless there's something that is flowing through me, that are not my words from the smaller self. It has to be from the truth of who I am and the truth of who you are. And right now, I want to invite you actually to this whole story that we're a body. So many people are caught up in the form of who we are. We try to look a certain way, and it's okay. It's okay to, make ourselves look handsome or pretty. That's okay. That's okay as long as we're not caught up in as it being the truth of who we are. We're so conditioned, we're so programmed, just even the programming of what handsome and pretty even means. That we all have our stories and judgments that, um, we see a baby and we're like, oh my gosh, that baby's so cute. Or we see, a man or a woman, and we might have a certain judgment, might be a good judgment or a bad judgment, but we have certain judgments of what people look like, of what we want to appear, physically appear to others to look like. But what happens? Sorry, I got a tap in my ear. Let me just let this go and empty out and just come back to the emptiness of who I am and see if something else comes through. Just right now, just coming back to being aware of the breath, just noticing the breath. Notice how it easily flows in and it easily flows out without you needing to do anything. The body can do this all by itself. And right now, I just invite you to let go of all the stories of who you think you are, mental, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Any stories of how you would describe yourself to somebody else, I am inviting you to, at least for this meditation, just let go of all of that. Don't hook on to one single label or self-image or the personality for the purpose of this meditation. Let go of all of that, and then you might have an opportunity to see that which is beyond all the stories, beyond the physical, beyond the mental, emotional, and the spiritual. Who are you really? Really, who are you? Are you just a story that you've believed over the years? And surely, if you're one story that you've believed, you have to be another story that you believe. Are you the story that believes that you are not enough? Are you the story that believes that you should be more loving or more kind or more compassionate? Are you the stories that say, I'm never going to amount to anything? Maybe you're the story of, look how, what a good person I am. Look how wise I am. Look how beautiful I am, handsome I am. Look at this and look at that. It doesn't matter whether it's a so-called good story or bad story. It's still a story, and it is that very story that blocks you from recognizing the truth of who you are, which is beyond any stories, concepts, or beliefs. And I'm not here to convince you that that's true. I'm simply here to explore with you, what if you were to let go of all those stories, then what would remain? Our mind gets afraid of emptying out all these things because it's afraid, the ego is afraid that it will disappear into the nothingness, as if the nothingness is actually bad. But the mind, the ego, doesn't like the idea of the nothingness because it's afraid to cease to exist. But let me ask you, I want to say that again. I want to say that again, actually, that the ego self is afraid that it will cease to exist. Meaning that if we let go of all these stories, all these thoughts, all these beliefs, if we just empty out all the things that we've believed ourselves to be, then we will cease to exist. But I've mentioned this to you before. How do you know you exist? How do you know you exist right now in this moment? And there'll be a part of you that's like, well, I'm here right now. I I I can feel myself. I sense myself. I am consciously aware that I am here. Who is here? Who's the I am here? Your body, your mind, the stories, the thoughts, the experiences. Maybe you think your experiences. Or maybe you think you're all the beliefs that you've accumulated. Well, yeah, I'm just all my experiences that I've had over the years. What happens when the belief changes about the experience? Do you change? Is there something as you that never changes? I ask all these questions just to get you to contemplate, not think about, but just open up to the possibility that you are none of those things. And why do I say that? Because if you look at all of those things, every single one of them will come and go. Your experiences come and go, your thoughts come and go, your beliefs change over time, they come and go. Your body will someday go, right? All these things come and go. Is there something that doesn't come and go? And how do you discover that for yourself without just hooking into another belief because, well, Brett said it, so must be so? No, I'm not here to persuade you or convince you of anything. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I am simply here for you to ponder some of these questions and create an openness, a willingness for you to let go of all these stories, all these self images, all these old thoughts and beliefs that are keeping you from being aware of the truth of who you are right now in this very moment. We try so hard to be happy, to be at peace, to be loved, to find God and to awaken to the truth of who we are. Trying, trying, trying. Every time you try for it, though, that means we're engaging the head and the heart. How is that true? Because either you know the answer or you don't. If you don't know the answer, then trying means that we turn to our mind to try to figure out the solution. Because when we turn to God, there's no trying or effort that's needed. We're simply saying, all right, Father, I don't know who I am. I'm giving this over to you. And I'm putting my trust and faith in you that this unfolding will reveal the truth of who I am, versus saying, I'm going to try to figure this out. Who's going to figure this out? Is the trying to figure it out, is that God? Is that your true self? Or is that turning to your head to try to come up with a solution? So the thing of it is, we're trying so hard to be happy, meaning we're engaging the mind, we're engaging the head to figure out how to be happy. Does the mind know what happiness is? Because the mind is like a giant recorder, right? It records all the experiences you've ever had and it says, well, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Is that all we are? Is just a bunch of stories of where we have failed or succeeded in the mind's eye when we've done so called good or we've done so called bad? Is that all we are? An accumulation of those stories, the stories that change and come and go. I don't know about you, but quite oftentimes I have this experiences and I'm just like, oh man, I'm so tired of just trying to be happy. I'm so tired of not being happy. I'm so tired of just struggling with life. And the truth is, I don't have these thoughts and or beliefs near as much as I used to, but I still do. I still do because somehow I'm still looking to my head versus my heart. I'm still looking to my head that somehow I need to figure out how to become happy, which immediately gets the mind busy in trying to figure out how to be happy. The only thing is, the mind doesn't understand what happiness is, not true happiness. The mind is looking for only things outside of itself, external pleasures, right? The mind says, well, if I go for a walk in nature, I enjoy that, then I'll be happy. If I take this trip over to India, then I'll be happy. If I win this money or I get a better job, then I'll be happy. If I have find the right partner, then I'll be happy. But is that where happiness lies? Is your happiness dependent on outside circumstances and outside situations? Because if it is, what happens if that situation never changes? Well, you say, well, I'm going to create the situation to be different. And that is a possibility. Of course, there's times when it's good and healthy and right to create the situation to be different. But is it not also possible that sometimes it's simply not uh, available to create the situation to be different than what it is? If we look at just even climate change, you know, certainly there's things that we can do to make the environment better, but there's also limitations to a certain degree, and ultimately there's no limitations, but there's certainly times coming from our limited self and our head where we cannot make these changes, and we simply have to accept them. It's the serenity prayer, right? God grant me the well, I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't think I'm going to get it just right. God grant me to the wisdom to 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 change the things that I can change, to accept the things that I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So there's things that we can change, there's things that we can't change, and those things that we can't change, we need to come to a place of peace with them, which means accepting them, taking responsibility and say, I accept them. I cannot change a situation or don't know how to change a situation, so can I simply accept it? And the mind has its agenda of wanting what it wants, and it has its agenda of thinking it knows what happiness is. And so we turn to the mind for the solutions as if it knows what happiness is. But remember, the mind, because it's rooted in the duality of good and bad, it is always rooted in, um, at the core of anything that we would describe as bad, is actually rooted in fear, right? Course in Miracles says there's only either fear or love. If love and happiness are not there, then the contra to that is that we're in judgment and we're in fear, because there's always a fear and a pain at the very core of any negative judgment or experience. And I noticed that I was um, pulled into a thought and belief while I was doing this meditation. And so I'm noticing that the words are not flowing as well as my mind would like them to flow. Quite oftentimes, when this happens, there is some wisdom that flows through for me to work with that, because I'm simply being used as an example of things that we all do. We all feel at times we fall off the path. We all feel at times that we've made some choices that feel detrimental to us, and consequently we're caught up and maybe in the guilt or the shame or the blame of ourselves. There's something there for us, and it pulls us out of the present moment and pulls us out of the truth of who we are. And so I have the choice of either stressing about that or just accepting, oh, okay, I see that my person has been pulled out of the present moment, and that can I simply, and there's a feeling of a certain disconnect and disappointment. Can I Can I simply witness that and simply be present to the thoughts and feelings of disappointment and disconnect? Because when we accept the disappointment and the disconnect, what is left? We can still be at peace. We simply are at peace with the disappointment and disconnect, because remember, it's just a thought and it's just a feeling. If you believe the thought, and it's a negative thought, you will have a negative feeling, right? If you believe the thought, this is a horrible meditation, if you believe that thought, then you will have a feeling about this. Well, I feel disappointment, I feel sad, I feel frustrated, I just wanted to have a good meditation, that's all. If you believe a so-called negative thought, you will have a so-called negative feeling. But, if you can be present and aware of the thought and the feeling without fighting it and without resisting it, you can still experience peace. And see, the mind doesn't know how to transcend the thought and the belief and the feeling because it believes it is that. And it has convinced you that you are that. But if you are that, if you are the thoughts and you are the feelings, then who is right now, who is the one, what is the one that is aware of the thought? What is the one that is aware of the feeling? What is the one who is aware of your perceptions about it? So, right now, I'm noticing for myself, I'm just going to be present with the thought and the feeling that I am feeling disconnected. I am feeling disappointed that I bought into the thought. But who is it that bought into the thought? Is that the truth of who I am, or is that just another story that I'm carrying? How do I know it's not me that bought into the thought? Because the truth of who I am is beyond any thought and beyond any feeling and is a witness to the thought and a witness to the feeling. You can witness any thought or witness any feeling, but the thought and the feeling cannot witness you. The thought and the feeling is not conscious and aware of you. But you, the truth of who you are, the one that is conscious and aware that you exist, is also conscious and aware of your thoughts, conscious and aware of your feelings, of your perceptions, of your situations, of your experiences, of your five senses. It's aware of your body, it's aware of your mind. None of those things are consciously aware of you, but you are consciously aware of all of them. And as a witness to them, and the one who doesn't need to fix or change any of them, you can be at peace with whatever thought, feeling, or experience you have. And just coming back to the present moment, coming back to being aware of your breath. Sometimes, sometimes it's so easy for me. This morning, I was just noticing and having this awareness that peace is always here. Peace is actually the truth of who I am and the truth of who you are. And I'm not saying that as a belief because this morning I was just noticing my thoughts without making them bad or wrong or needing to fix or change them. I was also aware of my feelings and without the need to fight against them or to make them bad or wrong or the need to fix or change them. I was simply just noticing them. And it really just struck me again, like it does quite often lately. All I need to do is just be a witness to those thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and actions, and not feel I need to fix or change any of them. Just observe them. That's it. That's all it is. It's connecting with the one that is conscious and aware and is simply a witness to all of life, to the thoughts, the feelings, the experiences, your situation, your judgments, your blame, your all of it. Just witnessing it without needing to fight against it or fix or change it. And your mind might say, well, I do want these things to be different. Can you just be a witness to that thought and belief? Well, I can, but I still don't like it. Okay. Can you simply be a witness to that? I want to change it though. Okay. It's okay. I recognize that whoever is saying this wants to change it. It's okay. I accept that you want to change it. I accept that you want to change your life. I accept that you want to change a situation. I accept that you want to find God. I accept that you want to awaken. But you, the truth of who you are, is awakened. You, the awakened you, is simply the one that is witnessing all those thoughts, beliefs, feelings without needing to fix or change it. That is the awakening. That is you, the one who is simply conscious and aware that you exist, conscious and aware of your thoughts, conscious and aware of your feelings. That's you. And the mind might say, I'm still not getting it. Okay. Can you just notice that thought and recognize that you are not that thought? The one who says, I'm still not getting it, the only reason that thought would present itself is because your person is still identifying with that thought as the truth. If that thought is the truth, who is the one that is aware of that thought? I just want to be happy, Brett. The only reason that thought would come up is because you're identifying with a false belief that says you're not already happy. But you, the one who is aware of that, is already in peace and joy. Okay, I kind of get everything you're saying, but you know what? I just want to awaken to the truth of who I am. Who is saying that? Is that you? Because if it is you, who is the one that is witnessing that thought? Your person believes that thought to be true. That's why the thought presents itself, because consciousness is expressing itself through you and giving you, actually giving you that thought. And because that thought is a thought that you have believed to be true, you're identifying with it as the truth, but you, the true you, is simply a witness to that thought and belief. But as soon as you witness it, that and you recognize that it is not you, that thought and that belief begins to fall away because you have caught it. Like, I got you. I know you're trying to convince me that's you, but that is not me. That is not the truth of who I am. I am simply going to notice that thought. And ultimately, you are the silence, you are the stillness. And anytime that there is something that is not still, that is not a thought, that is not you. You are the one that is aware of that thought or that action or that belief, that experience. For some of you, you may connect with what I'm saying, and there may be some of you that don't. But I want to just say this. If you're feeling, believing, or thinking that you're not connecting with what I'm saying, that thought is coming up because you're identifying with that as the truth, like the truth that says, I don't know what he's saying. I don't know how to connect with that. And it's okay, by the way, if you don't connect with it and that's simply where you're at. Can you simply be present with that thought and that feeling and that belief that says, I don't know how to connect with it? Something is missing. Can you just simply be present with that? And by being present with it and not making that thought, feeling, or belief wrong, just be present with it, then it will eventually begin to dissipate and fall away because you're not fighting against it or resisting it or making it bad and wrong. It's only your resistance to it that will perpetuate that thought, feeling, and belief. So wherever you're at is absolutely perfect. Can you simply be a witness to the thought, be present with the thought, and be a witness to the feelings and beliefs and be present with them as well? Meaning you don't need to fix them or change them or get rid of them. You're simply being aware of them and being present with them. That's all. Don't make any of it bad or wrong. And there's still peace in that. Right now, I'm feeling like I want to share with what's going on with me, and perhaps it will be helpful for you. When I continue to do these meditations over and over, and I share so many similar things, and yet I am drawn to have this experience over and over and over because there's something that I'm just going to say, for a lack of better words, something my person hasn't gotten. Whatever the reason I share this over and over, there's something for my person to get from this. And so I'm called to do it daily. And I keep diving deeper and deeper into the truth of who I am and letting go of those false beliefs of who I have thought myself to be. And then I have my moments like this morning that feel enlightened, where I'm simply noticing and not resisting any of my thoughts or feelings. And yet my mind says, yeah, but there's got to be something more than this. So where I'm at with that is I recognize that is not the truth of who I am. That is a play of the ego and the mind. And yet, when I have that awareness, I don't feel that thought or that belief falling away. So, where I'm at, the only thing I know to do in this moment is to simply be present with that thought, be present with that feeling without making it bad or wrong or needing to get rid of it, and actually saying, you know what, Father, I just give this whole thing over to you. And I trust that my life is unfolding the way it needs to. And I also trust that that thought and that belief is here because there's something for me to learn. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing me that thought and that belief and that feeling, because I trust that there's something there for me. So I embrace it and I give thanks for it. And I'm just going to honor where it's at, not needing to fix or change it, but just to be fully present with it. And then I don't get in my head. I do my best to not get in my head of trying to figure it out. And to be honest with you, sometimes I am in my head. Wow, what is it that I feel incomplete? I don't feel like I'm quite awakened. Conceptually, I understand that I'm already there, and I even connect with that truth sometimes. But there's something that feels like it's missing. Can I simply be present with that thought and that feeling and not try to fix or change it or get rid of it? Can I simply allow it to be and still be in the peace of the experience by just simply being aware of it. And if your mind is drifted, simply come back to being aware of the breath, which brings you back to the present moment and back home to the truth of who you are. And by the way, sometimes when I say, can I just simply sit and be a witness to the thought, the feeling, and the belief? And sometimes I will hear a part of me, a part of my person say, no, I don't want to sit with it. I don't like it. Then can you simply be aware of that and accept that thought and that feeling? And there can still be peace with your no, that one that says, no, I don't want to do that. Can you accept that no and still be at peace with it? And if your mind has drifted, just coming back to being aware of your breath, just being right here, right now. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else you need to do. There's nothing you need to resolve with your mind. You don't need to wait for something else to happen. Just let go of the waiting. Let go, again, just letting go of your need to fix or change anything about your life, about the world, about life in general. Just allow everything to be as it is, at least for this meditation. And then simply rest in the stillness of this moment. And if your mind is drifted, just simply coming back to the breath, coming back to this present moment that literally has everything you need to be at peace, to be in joy, to be love. It would only be our resistance to this present moment that would keep us from experiencing that truth. And just coming back again to the present moment. And I also want to share with you that it's not going to be more knowledge that awakens you, that you recognize the truth of who you are by more knowledge. Knowledge can be good, but knowledge can also be used as bad or even evil. So it's not just enough just to be knowledgeable. And true knowledge, true intelligence, true wisdom comes beyond the mind, beyond the body, in to connect with the eternal truth of who we are, with our beloved creator. And again, I'm not trying to persuade you or convince you of that, but I want to say the more knowledge you gain, sometimes it can be the very thing that gets in the way of you recognizing the truth of who you are, which is beyond any concepts, ideas, or beliefs. So, knowledge isn't going to give you that piece of the puzzle to help you see who you are. There's more a likelihood that it's some kind of knowledge, something that you've bought into to say this is true, that has blocked you from being the truth of who you are. So don't wait for another book or something else to all of a sudden make you more knowledgeable or more intelligent, because the fact that you recognize that you exist, that you're conscious and aware that you exist, that does not take any knowledge, it does not take any intelligence to recognize that you are here. Look to that conscious awareness as a way of entering, re entering the truth that you already are. And even what I'm saying Just simply notice those thoughts. Don't try to get in your head to figure it out. Just simply be aware of whatever thought or feeling you have about that. Just be aware of it and then come back to being aware of the breath. We're going to begin to bring this meditation to completion. So, if you would like to continue meditating, please feel free to do so. Just mute or turn your device off and continue to meditate as long as you would like to. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath, filling your lungs up with oxygen, pure, beautiful oxygen, and stretching, moving your body, reinvigorating it, preparing it to just re enter the world in a place of peace and rooted in your heart, rooted in joy, rooted in God, and taking your time and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's see here. Huh, strange. I don't know why it didn't look like Facebook came through, so I don't know why, but okay. Well, in any case, um, uh, I don't know why that happened that way. Okay. Well, it is what it is. So if there's anybody who would like to comment or anything, I'm happy to. I'll be here for just a moment. Let me just see what went on with Facebook here. So let's see. Am I still? Let's see here. Okay, I think I don't know why it's not Facebook wasn't showing up on my Restream software, but in any case, let's see here. So I'm going to read some of these comments here. Sandy, let's see. First of all, on YouTube, daily reminders are good training for the brain. Namaste. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks for joining. Thank you. And let's see. And then Michelle, thank you, Brett. Witnessing life in And Golden this morning. Okay, Golden, Colorado. Enjoy your day. Ah, I probably won't as enjoy it as much as you in Golden, Colorado. That's a beautiful area. Yeah, love that. Enjoy, Michelle. And then Laura, let's see. I've been feeling very lonely lately and feeling like no one really knows me. What I realize is that I do not know me, and that's because I judge myself. So I tried seeing myself and suspended my self judgment for a moment. I instantly felt loved and honored. My loneliness vanished. So now I'm playing with suspending judgment, and it's just such a freeing experience. Just wanted to share this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that, Laura. And the truth is, the more we're able to suspend judgment, in fact, Muji, one of the things he says is ignore the mind, just ignore it. You know, it's there's no reason to engage it. So the fact that you are suspending judgment just means that you're not giving the mind any power. I love that, you know. And sometimes life will come along and it gives us an experience that we're more hooked into, that we're identified with as the truth of who we are, and it may pull us out of even being able to suspend the judgment for the moment. And that's okay. You, if you can be aware of that, and maybe you can even still suspend that, maybe. But it's beautiful. I love what you're doing there. So yeah, let me know how that continues to play out for you, because that's wonderful. That's beautiful. So, okay, you guys, I think that is about it. So, and Sandy says yes, yes. So, okay, you guys, namaste. Have a beautiful day, my friends, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, all right, bye bye.